everybody, it's JT Sports, and I'm actually guys with another NFL video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 breakout players for the 2019 NFL season. So, before I begin, I'm going to explain this list. So, most of the players on this list, or all of them, are either in their first or second years and going into either their second season or their third season. Now, I didn't include guys like Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield has already came, he has already arrived. So basically, nobody should really be putting him in the category for having a breakout season. I think this list is only for players who have yet to arrive on the NFL scene yet, who have yet to quote quote leave their mark or make a significant impact and have a lot more room to improve. So without further ado, let's get into this list. At number 10, I have tight end Chris Herndon from the New York Jets. Now, Chris Herndon had a good rookie year for a tight end. He started the season out slow, but picked up his production mid-season as he ended up getting more reps. And I believe to start out the 2018 season going into training camp, he was the fourth string tight end. Then when the season started, he was the third string tight end, and he started to work his way up. During one stretch, during the 3 game stretch, he had one touchdown in 3 straight games, and he was pretty solid. I had him on my fantasy team for the whole entire season because I don't know if anybody else had this same problem, but I picked up Jordan Reed in the third round of my fantasy draft last year, and Jordan Reed was highly inconsistent, only really had about 2 games. So I picked up Chris Herndon, and he was pretty good. Now he finished the season with 39 receptions and 502 receiving yards to go along with 4 touchdowns. He should have a breakout season being the number one tight end on the depth chart this coming year, and he's a pretty good weapon in the red zone. At number 9, I have DN Sam Hubbard from the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Sam Hubbard was a third round pick in last year's NFL draft, and he saw his playing time increase as the 2018 season went along. He finished the season with 39 tackles, 6 sacks, and 7 tackles for loss, and he should have an even better 2019 campaign with getting more snaps this year. At number 8, I have wide receiver Antonio Callaway for the Cleveland Browns. Now, Callaway was inconsistent like most rookie wideouts last season, but he led the Browns in receiving touchdowns with 5. He had 43 receptions for 586 yards. His numbers should improve as he'll probably be the slot receiver for the Cleveland Browns this year, and he should have an opportunity for some big games and some solid stats this year with Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry receiving most of the attention. At number 7, I have halfback KERRYON Johnson for the Detroit Lions. Now, KERRYON Johnson never got injured last season. He would have been in that conversation for offensive rookie of the year, averaging over five yards per carry, 641 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. He also became the first Lions halfback to have over 100 yards rushing in a game since forever. And he also had 32 receptions for 213 receiving yards and only started in 7 games. He appeared in 10 games, but became the starting only started in 7. Now, Johnson should become the focal point of the Lions offense this year. He should be their workhorse back, and he should receive a lot of snaps, a lot of opportunities in the passing game as well. And I think he's going to have a pretty good season with the Detroit Lions. At number 6, I have another defensive end, Marcus Davenport from the New Orleans Saints. Now, the Saints traded the fan to get Marcus Davenport in the 2018 NFL draft. He didn't take a lot of snaps that you would expect out of a first round pick or as a defensive end. He played more as a situational pass rusher, logging in 4.5 sacks. He should have an even better 2019 season as he gets a bigger role with the New Orleans Saints this year. And last year, he also was battling through injuries as well. I felt that limited him also. At number 5, I have halfback derrius guice from the Washington Redskins. Guice was drafted in the 2018 NFL Draft, second round, and he didn't receive a single carry in the regular season after tearing his ACL in the preseason game. All last offseason, everyone on the Washington Redskins staff was raving about Guice. And with the not so stellar wide receiving core, guys should receive a good amount of carries this season and have some solid numbers to go along and complement Adrian Peterson. But I do believe that eventually Throughout the course of this season, the 2019 season, Derrius Guice will start to get more carries than Adrian Peterson, and he will start to become the number one back. Number four, I have tight end OJ Howard for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if it wasn't for his ankle and the foot injuries last season, I believe personally he would have had 1,000 receiving yards and he would have been a Pro Bowler. And he finished the season with 565 receiving yards. He had 5 touchdowns with 6 yards per catch. Now, with Bruce Arians as his head coach, look for Howard to have a lot of explosive plays in the passing game next season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he became a Pro Bowler or All Pro last year. I believe he's going to have that good of a season. At number three, I have quarterback Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. Now, Josh Allen was a human highlight reel last season with crazy hurdles, juke spins. Nobody knew he would be this athletic coming into the NFL. He had over 600 rushing yards, which was more than Lamar Jackson. But the reason why I have him at number three on this list is because he now has a solid offensive line and receiving core, which will be more improved after the NFL draft, which means Josh Allen should improve more as a passer. And by I mean as a passer, I mean more accurately. Now, if he can get a little bit more accuracy, he's going to have a very, very good season next year, and the Buffalo Bills are going to be very, very good. At number two, I have wide receiver James Washington for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, there isn't a player on this list who needs to step up more than wideout James Washington, as he's becoming the number two wideout for the Pittsburgh Steelers and is going to have to step up since Juju Smith-Schuster will be receiving most of the attention by defenses. Last year, he had 16 receptions for only 217 yards and 1 touchdown. And that really wasn't good. I mean, Big Ben targeted him 38 times and he only caught nearly almost half of those. So that's not really good. He's going to have to improve a lot this season. And I believe James Washington is going to excel next season. If he can improve his running and develop a little bit more reliable hands, he's going to have a pretty good season, and I believe he'll be around that 6 touchdown range with 1,000 receiving yards. And at number one, I have my guy, quarterback Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I might be a little bit biased since Lamar Jackson is one of my favorite players in the NFL. Lamar Jackson dethroned Joe Flacco and led the Ravens to the AFC North crown last season in the playoff berth, going 6-1 as a starter. Now, in year two, Lamar Jackson has to improve as a passer, which is the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff number one priority going into this offseason. They're most likely going to be loaded with young wide receivers on this year's team, as they're going to have to draft a bunch of them on in this draft. And even though that might cause a little bit of concern as far as Lamar Jackson as a passer, his running ability is going to open up a lot of passing opportunities. And as long as he improves as a passer in the offseason, he should have a pretty good year and have an even better year passing than he did last year. Last season, he only completed 99 passes. He attempted like 190 and only completed 99% of them. And he only had 1,204 yards, which isn't bad for him only playing in 7 games. But he needs to improve more as a passer if he wants to take his game to the next level. And I believe that he will, as the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff is probably going to spend a lot of time with him. And that's it for my top 10 breakout players going into the 2019 season. Let me know what you guys think about this list down in the comment section down below, and comment some more video ideas you would like to see. Also, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more NFL content. And thanks for watching.